Monty Collins, would you lead us in prayer, please?
I will. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you for this day, Lord. We especially remember those who lost their lives and so many years ago today in Pearl Harbor. Lord, we just ask that you be with us today as we conduct your business here in our county, and that we do it according to your will. And we just pray all these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. If you would, join me in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll call this December 7th, 2023 special called Fiscal Court meeting to order. First of all, if you would join me, moment of silence for National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. Thank you. First guest we have today is going to be Haley Sparks from Animal Control, and December has been declared Free Pet Adoption Month, and she has brought Rainey out with her, and she is available for adoption. She told me she was housebroke, good with kids, and good with cats. So it's a good month to go out and pick you out a dog or cat, and they'll be happy to assist you in that to get one that will fit your needs. So thank you for bringing her out, and hopefully she'll be adopted today.
Thank you.
You're probably smarter than all of us. So.
Well, I probably have made some nervous, you know. They thought I might have been drug sniffing dog.
Oh, man. Okay. I said everybody needs 3 dogs. I talked to 2 people, and they said, oh, I've already got a dog. I said, well, everybody needs 3. Well, I've got 2, so anyway. Okay, next up, our Parks Director, I'll get it out here in a minute, Brittany Hargo. Brittany, let you say a little bit about the most recent award, and I'd like to say before you even start, our park staff always does an outstanding job. They have not only Mike Miller Park looking great, lit up with their Christmas lights, also the courthouse lawn here looks fabulous. They have done an outstanding job. We're really proud of that. So.
Thank you. We've got all of our staff here today, our office staff and our maintenance staff as well. When people drive through, I just want to say this before we get into the awards, but when people drive through the park and see all of the Christmas lights, I hope they know how hard these guys work to make that happen every year. That takes months of them working to get all of those lights up. It is a constant job every single night to keep the lights on. We'll have things that short out. We are in the process of upgrading more and more of those lights to LED every year, which involves them taking apart all those light structures, restringing them with lights. But it is a constant job every single night, and we're so proud of them and so thankful for them, for the work that they do to make that and so many other things happen at our parks and our community. So thanks to you guys. And I also want to take a second. Michael, would you stand up for a second? We also have Michael right with us, and Michael has been volunteering at the park for several years now, and I want to take a minute to thank you all, because for the first time in a really long time this year, we were given funds to actually be able to hire Michael back as a part-time seasonal employee, and Michael just won some new medals for the Special Olympics bowling team, so we are honored to have a rock star on our staff as well out there at the park. Michael knows every single light we have in the park. He knows where every single light goes. And if you haven't been out this year, we added a new light for several years now. Michael has been telling us what a catastrophe. Come up here, Michael. what a catastrophe it was that Cinderella didn't have a Prince Charming in our light displays. Michael, you want to tell him what happened this year?
So we have the Prince Charming light out of me.
All
I knew he was really handsome. So not only did our guys make that dream happen for him, but they actually took him out to the shop. They put him up against a board. They outlined his body, and they custom made a Prince Charming light. That is literally Michael. He is our Prince Charming out there at the light. So we have a sign out there that says in honor of Michael Wright. So don't miss that if you come through and see the lights. We want to make sure that we honor Michael for his years of volunteer work and for his love of Christmas and helping us make sure that we can spread Christmas cheer to all of Marshall County. So thank you all for making that a priority in our budget this year, and thank you to Michael and all of our staff for everything they do at the park too. So shifting gears, we did just get back from the Kentucky Recreation and Park Society Conference. We were absolutely honored to have been named Outstanding Facility of the Year for the CFSB Field of Dreams. That was a huge honor. Those are very competitive awards. And so the fact that we were honored with this award was really special. Again, it takes our whole staff to make projects like that happen. Without each and every one of them working on this project and the support from all of you all, and of course CFSB for their contribution, we would not have been able to make that happen. So if you guys all want to stand, I would love to recognize all of our staff for the part that you guys play in not only this, but in everything that we are able to accomplish out at the park. Go ahead. No, go ahead. You're good. Oh, I just wondered if you wanted to mention the Miracle Gala we have coming up, and then we want to get a photo before everybody leaves.
Absolutely. So we do have the Miracle Gala coming up February the 3rd. I am overwhelmed. Last year was the first year for that. We sold out at 230 seats. We have moved to a larger venue this year, and I believe we are already at 320 seats sold for this year. So we are not far from reaching capacity now at an even larger venue. So there's not long left to get tickets. We're getting ready to open that up for individual public ticket sales, probably next week or the week after. But again, there's not going to be very many. So if there's anybody left that wants to sponsor a table that hasn't yet, now is the time to get with us on that. And then, did you want me to talk? This picture too was up there. We were also, I was nominated by the executive committee on the Kentucky Recreation and Park Society as the District 1 representative on the board of directors, and I was honored to be elected this year. So I will be serving a 2-year term on the Kentucky Recreation and Park Society board of directors, representing all of the counties in Western Kentucky on the board.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Let's get a photo real quick before they leave. I'm sure they've got lights to repair.
Absolutely, always.
Christmas lights are beyond frustrating.
No, I will. I just wanted to get that off the screen first.
Okay, next on the agenda under guest, we have the Marshall County cross-country teams, Coach Ken Harrison. Want to come up and tell us a little bit about the season, please?
Okay. I'm not as prepared as lady right before me, but I think when I'm talking about running, I can wing it pretty good. Our team this year, we started out, we had low numbers, and it gradually built, and we finally got our high school and middle school numbers up. We had about 37 on the team, and at the end of the season, at regionals, which regionals are a little different than if you're used to basketball, where it's pretty much right here in the immediate West Kentucky area. Our region goes on up past Bowling Green, Owensboro, takes in those schools. So at the end of the season, our boys team finished 4th in the region, our girls team finished 3rd in the region, and that qualified both teams to go to state. But during the year, we had a very successful season. We had many runners at the end of the year, some of them don't know it yet, but they were named all area, like first team all area and second team all area. And then we had several middle schoolers that were named first team and second team. So the future's real bright. We have one senior that's with us today. Out of the 37, we only had one senior and two juniors, I'm sorry. But so the future's pretty bright for cross country in Marshall County. And I'm going to if I can, I may let them come up and introduce themselves one at a time. There should have been about 19 here. We had several that were on a field trip today that couldn't make it. But on our girls team, out of our top 7, we put 4 middle school girls on the starting line for the state meet. So that's pretty impressive in itself. We had one young man named all state, first team all state, and he's done some pretty big things this year. I'll let him maybe even tell that. But if you can, I'll let them go through one by one and tell you
Absolutely.
their names. And
Okay, thank you.
Who's first?
Just introduce yourself.
I'm Courtney Willie, and I'm in 9th grade.
I'm Alyssa Parr, and I'm in 9th grade. I'm Ava Sutherland, and I'm in 9th grade. I'm Lainey Yates, and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Alexander Abrams, and I'm in 9th grade.
I'm Jared Gowdy, and I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Fisher Beth, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name's Kobe Yates, and I'm in 10th grade.
My name's Walker Jones. I'm in 12th grade.
I'm Daniel Walker, and I'm in 10th grade.
My name's Sam Martin. I'm in 10th grade.
I'm Thatcher Noonan. I'm in 7th grade, and I'm the first team All-State runner from middle school.
We're very proud of your accomplishments. Keep up the hard work, and we hope to see you here next year. I think Mr. Pagel wants to say something to you, and we want to get a photo before y'all leave.
No, I have an older daughter. Now, she's 22 now, and she ran cross country for several years until she ran for Coach Carrick back there, until she got more dedicated to horse training and horse riding. I noticed the gains. I mean, those kids, I always look forward to having the cross country kids in class. And I know the gains can be different based on your floor and your ceiling. You can work hard for a full year to shave 30 seconds off of time. And they just get out there every day and they run. And it's a real joy that you guys have come and what you've gotten, what you've done.
Okay. And that you got up and said your name.
Yeah.
You'll be on TV now.
That counts for something, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pop my head in behind.
No, you can't hide now. Come on. Switch back, switch back, switch back.
Switch back? It's taller, though. That's true.
There we go. All right, on 3. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations.
Okay, next up, Brian Cutsinger, EMS Director. Good morning.
I hope he's entertaining after the dog and the cross-country team. Hope you do a good job.
I don't bring near as much fun to the table today, so my apologies for that.
Spending money.
Do what?
Spending money, ain't you?
Unfortunately, I am.
Sit back down, man.
Well, okay. No, the previous meeting, we had a bid opening for an ambulance remount in which we only had one bid submitted. I had talked to other vendors prior to the first bid opening, and a couple of them declined to bid just because they were concerned about the amount of time it was going to take to complete it. I touched base with them and kind of discussed, that we only had one bid, and, that everybody's kind of in the same boat on the completion time for these. So one of the companies did actually submit another bid, and so the first bid that was submitted was from Select Tech out of Shelbyville, Tennessee. Their bid came in at $216,450. The other bid I got from a company called ARV, they're out of Columbia, Missouri. Their bid for the remount was $194,892 and 11 cents. I've reviewed the specifications. Both companies meet the specifications. They change all the stuff that we've recommended changing as far as paint, suspension systems, all that stuff. So both of them meet the specifications. The second bid that came in was around $22,000 cheaper than the previous bid. I've never worked with this company, but I've heard a lot of good things about them. So just in the essence of cost savings, it would be my recommendation to go with the bid from ARV.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the bid from
What did we budget on it?
Because the lead times have been
Yeah,
so
we
long
haven't
the last couple of
budgeted it yet.
years, we're actually budgeted for the one that we are already, we've had being built for the last year.
It was the one that was
Oh, okay.
approved last year.
Yes,
This one will
so
have to
we'll
go in
budget.
next year's budget.
Yep,
Yeah.
it'll go on next year's budget, so
How
we'll
much
need to.
was the last one? What's the difference? I just
you
wondered,
recall, I'm
difference in
sorry.
price. Is it up?
Yes,
up
it is
quite a
up.
bit,
It's
wasn't it?
significantly.
It's significantly less than these.
Oh,
I'm wanting to say
The
it was
old one,
around
yeah.
140
yeah,
or 50.
yeah. Well, it's okay.
Okay.
I mean,
But yeah,
It is
she's
what-
right, because the
So-
lead times have been so long that we're basically kind of in a cycle to where the ambulance we approve this year will not be paid until next year's budget.
so is Stryker just way? I mean, are they further out than that? Is this not the stuff that we do with Stryker, or no?
No, this
This is
isn't.
different.
No, Stryker is the one that manufactures like our stretchers,
Okay.
heart monitors, that kind of thing.
So is the other one, the higher one, is the one that we have used in the past?
They're the ones that we've used in the past, yes.
Okay. Okay.
You're okay with using the one in Columbia?
Yeah, I've checked some references and stuff, and kind of met with people that have used this company, and they've all had good things to say about them.
What was their name?
ARV, American Response Vehicles.
Move to approve the bid from ARV Response Vehicles.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Roger Coburn, is he here? I don't see him.
Does that mean,
Andy's stepping out to call Mr. Coburn. Chad, if you, Rivercrest Engineering, if you want to come on up, please. Chad has done some work for us as far as numbers go for Nance Road and
Weatherwood.
Weatherwood. I want to say Wedgewood. I thought, no, that's not right. Weatherwood, thank you.
There you go. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, this is a follow-up to the last fiscal court meeting that I attended whenever we discussed the Nance Lane water main extension. During the last meeting, we were asked to look at the Weatherwood Road section there between Elva Road and Wadesboro Road. So since we last met and discussed the project, we went back, looked at the length of that section through there, excuse me, looked at the bid pricing from Mertco on the project, and also revised our engineering services proposal to account for the addition for that section along Weatherwood. Just brief summary there. With the Nance extension, we were looking at about a 4,400-foot extension. With the addition of Weatherwood, that was going to add an additional 6,200 feet to that. So just over 2 miles of a water main extension is what we're talking about through here, with a total residents, existing residents touched in that area of just over 20, so probably in 20 to 24 range. Once you look at all those residences. Commissioner Barrett actually commented that he had spoken with several of the folks along Weatherwood in their interest to hook on the water system.
Yeah, 14 of the 17 on Weatherwood want it.
That's really spearheaded it. And then, as I mentioned last time, along Nance, we had several of the owners there that had showed up to our previous public meetings and had discussed their issues with their water, well water quality, having issues through there. So it's a big driver for these projects, and adding them to the current Phase 1 project there on the Oak Level water main extensions through there. This time, I really just wanted to give you guys an update there. The total cost estimates, if you want me to review through those, with the Nance project, we were talking about a total project cost, engineering and construction, of $345,200. That includes a 10% contingency in that number. With the addition, excuse me, with the addition of Weatherwood, the total project cost estimate, including the Nance extension, is $792,400. So a little over 2.5 times, the cost there increase. Basically, looking at the footage, about 2.5 times more footage of pipe through there. By combining the projects together, for the engineering services side, we actually are able to lower our engineering services costs overall, just combine them two, just because there's a lot of overlap between the services. If we do both projects together, we just do one round of permitting instead of two separate types of permitting, surveys and everything, a little more efficient, being out there, getting the services done at the same time through there.
Chad, you mentioned contingency on Nance. Is it
Yes,
safe
sir.
to assume the contingency is on Weatherwood also?
Yes, sir. The total project estimate for the Weatherwood and Nance contract, for the construction portion, would be $604,200, and as part of that $792,000 number, there's $60,000 of contingencies, approximately 10% included in that.
So the 792.4 includes engineering and contingency.
Yes, sir. And that's both Weatherwood and Nance combined together.
Does anybody have any more questions for Chad on that?
So the email that was sent, or the figures that we have as far as known commitments, that is, so Hardin is legitimate number. I mean, not legitimate, but definite. It's
Right.
over.
Hard.
So that's
Hard number.
what was actually spent.
Correct. Well, it's what we have committed to them, yes. I believe that they've come in a little under that, but I think that they're going to buy some meters, or if I can't recall
We
the
haven't
exact.
approved anything above that.
Okay. So 700,300 is exactly what you all approved to put towards their project.
So it's the Oak Level one?
That is
That's including.
the most up-to-date amount that Chad has given, including, there was a engineering contract modification for Phelps Road. So that's the newest amount.
Is that including contingencies, that 3.6?
Yes, we included the
Right.
10% contingency in that number as well. Yes, sir.
So
265,000 of that is contingency.
265 of that is contingency.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then you got another 60, so you got 320. I mean, 60 on Weatherwood, so you have 320 of the total is contingency.
Yes, that's correct. And construction has been going very well on the project. And as far as contingencies, the purpose there would just be there to cover unknowns whenever you go to digging. There's always a potential you could find something we weren't expecting whenever we put the design together. So far, that's not occurred. We've had very little changes, and the changes that we have seen are shifting the hydrant a little bit up the road, down the road, maybe adding a fitting or two here, but most of the time that's offset by removing a fitting somewhere else on the project. So the contingencies are, I don't think we've touched much of any of the 10% contingency at this point right now. mentioned to Erica this past week, we were talking about the contingencies and how that runs through and change orders. No change orders have been executed to date on the original project, and we will do a final adjusting change order at the end. That's how we typically handle those. If the court desires us to do one sooner than that, we can, but just know that with a unit price contract, those are living numbers. The court will only pay for the footage of pipe that's put in the ground. They will only pay for the number of fittings, pieces, and parts that are installed. So we might have bid, for instance, 15 of this one fitting, but if they only put in 12, that's the only thing the court will pay for, and then those additional 3 would be deducted from the total amount paid to the contractor at the end. So there's definitely some give and take there, and a little bit different than a lump sum contract.
Question on and then the other thing with this, as far as the funds, we are not including interest on that figure that you sent me, right?
Correct. On the
Yeah.
figure that I sent you, it was just the two groups of money that we got for ARPA, those two,
Within the
$3 million.
legislation, are you required, I mean, obviously, we can earn interest. Are you required to use that towards ARPA-related funds?
No, the interest that we earn on the ARPA account can be used for any governmental purpose.
general fund.
So can our ARPA money. Counties were allowed under a certain size to take up to $10 million as
Oh, that's right.
lost
the
revenue.
Lost revenue.
And once you do that, you can use it for any governmental purpose, other than there's 6 to 8 exceptions. But they're things that we wouldn't be involved in anyway, the exceptions. But no, the ARPA interest can be used for any governmental purpose.
I guess the question is, do we want to do one, both, or?
Well,
Neither.
I think we ought to do both of them, especially with saving on the engineering and the redundance on some stuff, so I'll make a motion that we add both Nance Road and Weatherwood to that project.
Okay, have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Chad.
All right, thank you very much. We'll get
Thanks,
started
sir.
on contacting the property owners as normal and starting on the survey, and we'll move through the process. Thank you.
We'll spread the good news.
All right.
One more question. Corey had a good point. I'm going to probably need a motion to sign the easements out there. Texas Gas, will there be any others that?
There will be
I
a
guess
Texas
just-
gas permit, encroachment permit like on the first project. There will also be a Kentucky Transportation Cabinet permit that will need to be executed as part of that as well. And then we'll have the Marshall County Road Department that will be coordinating with you all too.
Jason, can I just do a motion to sign all documents related to that motion?
So moved.
For second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Chad.
Okay, next up, Andy has some county clerk information.
What did Roger?
Oh, he was about 10 minutes out.
Okay.
Started at 9:30.
I figured that's probably what.
That was 5 to 8 minutes ago. All right, so I'm half the clerk, Chrissy. I've been asked to make this announcement. I've also heard it on the radio, so this is not the only place you're hearing this. But all functions related to registrations and collecting taxes on motor vehicles, boats, and trailers will be unavailable after the new year until Tuesday, January 16th for all county clerk's offices across the state of Kentucky. However, other functions such as land records, searches, voter registration, marriage license, etc., will continue when they open up after the holiday. We recognize this comes as a huge inconvenience to our customers, as it is for us as well, but this new system has been in the works for years, and with the old system being designed 40 years ago, it has become dysfunctional. We appreciate the public's patience as we make this transition.
Okay, thank you.
Did he say it was statewide?
Statewide, and after, it's only
Yeah,
about
it
2
is
weeks.
statewide. Yeah, 2 weeks, yeah. Can't go nowhere.
Yeah, and we certainly ask for everyone's patience with their office. This is not their doing, and once they are open back up for business, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people there at one time needing to take care of business, so please be patient with them. I can assure you they'll do the best job they can. Okay.
In other words, don't come in there and fuss at our ladies for doing the best they can.
Personnel changes.
Okay, November personnel changes. Corey Kurtner, Road Department, wage increase from $20 to $21.71 an hour, effective 11/1/23. Adriana Sainsbury, 911 wage increase from $14.42 to $15 an hour, effective 11/3/23. Mackenzie Edwards, Deputy Jailer, termed 11/24/23. Jonna Free, Part-Time Animal Control, effective 11/21/23, $12.50 an hour. Rodney Morgan, Full-Time Deputy Jailer, effective 11/20/23 at $15 an hour. Those are your changes for the month, last month.
Okay, under old business, need a motion to approve the minutes of the November 21st meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second, motion second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance 2023-20, budget amendment, second reading.
Ordinance 2023-20, and an ordinance relating to the annual budget and amendment thereof, whereas the County of Marshall has received additional funds. Now be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of Marshall County that Section 1, the annual budget for fiscal year 2023-2024 is amended to A, increase the following revenue accounts. Process fees, $13,221.32. Sheriff surplus equipment, $4,966. Federal asset forfeitures, cash balance July 1, $25,000. Alcohol beverage fund, cash balance July 1, $2,000. General fund, cash balance July 1, $28,312.59. Jail, cash balance July 1, $19,000. County sheriff fee pooling, $4,686.17, for a total increase of the revenue accounts of $97,186.08. B, increase the following expenditure accounts. Judicial Maintenance Building and Grounds, $13,221.32. Sheriff's out-of-county travel and training, $4,966. Sheriff Federal Asset Forfeiture Purchases, $25,000. DARE Supplies, $2,000. Sanitation Capital Projects Maintenance, $28,312.59. Jail Food, $19,000. Sheriff's Deputy Expenses, Equipment SRT, $4,686.17, for a total increase of expenditure accounts of $97,186.08. Section 2, the amounts added to the revenue and expenditure accounts in Section 1 are for governmental purposes, approved by the Marshall County Fiscal Court the 9th day of November 2023, approved as to form and classification the 6th day of December 2023 by Robert O. Brown, State Local Finance Officer. This amendment to the budget ordinance was adopted by the Marshall County Fiscal Court, Kentucky on this, the 7th day of December 2023.
Okay, thank you, Erica. Need a motion to approve and adopt.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up, Roger Coburn, General Manager for North Marshall Water. If you'd come up and talk to us a minute, sir. We've been trying to do water projects throughout the county, and Commissioner Collins and myself had reached out to Mr. Coburn to see what they had on their list, their wish list, so he's going to tell us about that.
Yeah. So one thing I'll tell you, we're wrapping up the Cambridge Shores project, which that project's gone pretty well. Essentially replaced all of the water lines within that tornado impact zone, and we've got a lot of needs within the North Marshall Water District. I think I shared with most of y'all the capital improvement plan that we got, and for 2023 we had about $2 million, 2024 about $2.6 million in needs, and in 2025 it drops off some. But I'm here today to ask you for some additional funding if you have it available. We've got several projects within the county that would address the extension of mains where we don't have mains, and that's something would like to talk to you about. We got a little project out in the Sharp area called Lecky Lane and Scale Road. And that extension, we had about $335,000 for it in there that needs to be done. And we got several others over there. We got a project over on White Dove Lane where we need a water main replaced. And got one down on Oakland Church Road that we need to do, a section of it that doesn't have a water main either, that we need to extend one down there as well. Didn't know what you had, if you had anything available left out of any of that funding, but we got probably more projects than we have funding available, obviously. And somewhere down the line, we'll probably have to do another big loan project. We've not really set up to do it this next year. We'd like to keep going and replace some more mains in-house that we need to take care of. We do have a project on Oak Valley Road established here that we want to try to get it wrapped up. And but we'd be most appreciative if you do have any funding left over from any of the other projects that we could apply to some of these projects here.
We had discussed a couple of those, I think, that totaled roughly 700, 750. Can you reiterate that?
Yeah.
Those two?
Yeah, if you took you take the Lecky Lane and Scale, and then that Oakland Church and the Oak Valley Road, and maybe one other one, you're getting right at 750. So what I'd like to see is us commit. It looks like we have, even after the commitment today, somewhere in the neighborhood of 780 before contingencies. I mean, hopefully those contingencies won't hit, but we still have that. We've not used, that I can remember, and we've been here all the way through ARPA, one single dollar of our ARPA funds towards anything in the North Marshall Water District, as well as even before ARPA, when it comes to the CARES funding. We supported the first district mostly, it seems like, through that, and some in the second district. So I think it is absolutely more than fair to commit $750,000 out of that remaining ARPA funds towards these projects in North Marshall Water District. So I'll make the motion to do that.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Any discussion? We need to be, Jason, specific on the projects, or up to 750 if that comes in under anything like that in the motion?
Well, I would just say up to 750.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
I
amend
think that would cover it.
Yeah. Well, so officially the motion would be then to approve and use up to $750,000 from our remaining ARPA funds towards water projects in the North Marshall Water District.
I'll second that again.
Okay, motion second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks,
Very
Roger.
much so. We need it. So,
Hey, next time we'll give you a wake-up call, so you'll know what time to be
thank
here.
you, Marty. I would apologize, but I thought the court was still meeting at 9:30. I didn't look at the.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. We'll give you an updated schedule. Yeah.
You're good. Thank
We're
you, sir.
we're earlier bunch now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We like to get her done. It's not too far.
Have a good day. Thank you. Next item, holiday schedule. Discussion on that.
I move we approve the draft.
I'll second that.
Yeah, it does not include.
Oh, that's right. We got,
The draft did not include Election Day, so.
The draft that you most recently sent, and
The
then we'll
only-
just
yeah,
have
the only
to,
one we
we'll have
had,
to
yeah.
address individually those departments that are affected in the judicial building, because there's no way to do this and not affect one group or the other. And there are more groups that will be affected by taking that day than unaffected, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yes, full day for Good Friday. That's what's on the draft. Okay, so the draft is, do we want to read the draft?
Yeah, why don't you, you wanna read? No, Mr. Pagel's going to read the
draft,
draft. Corey said, I'm not reading.
So the first one would be.
We voted Andy Reeder the first meeting.
I've got it right here. Monday, January 15th, Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Friday the 29th, Good Friday, it's a full day. This past year was half day. Monday, April 1st, Tater Day. Slam dunk there, right?
So that ends up being I hadn't really thought about that, but I mean, it is what it is. That's a 4 days off.
It turns into
Way
that.
to go. Tater Day fell at a good time, huh? All right.
Monday, May 27th, Memorial Day. That was the 4th one. The 5th one being Independence Day, Thursday, July 4th. Monday, September 2nd, Labor Day. Monday, November 11, Veterans Day. Then you've got Thursday and Friday, November 28th and 29th for Thanksgiving. Tuesday and Wednesday, the 24th and 25th for Christmas. Tuesday, December 31st for New Year's Eve. And then below the New Year, Wednesday, January 1st, New Year's Day.
Okay. I mean,
That's the draft.
Okay.
hang on a second. Did we miss one? Because that's 12, isn't it?
Well, it's 13 if you count New Year's Day, which the state always approves
Oh.
the year before, so if you take New Year's Day and put it back on the top. That's 13.
Are you planning a vacation over there?
No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
no,
I'm
he-
not. I just.
He'll be going
I just-
somewhere.
I was just looking. I was thinking when you sent me something that it was 13 days, so that's including the day. Yeah, okay, I got you. I move we approve it.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Just as an FYI, Tuesday, December the 12th is Inauguration Day, and by order of the Supreme Court and order of the Governor's Office, state executive and judicial offices are closed. So the judicial building will be closed Tuesday.
Next item, Mr. Pagel, resolution, MSU Hudson School of Ag.
Okay, this will be the 8th resolution of the year. From Murray State University, the Hudson School of Ag, whereas Marshall County Fiscal Court agrees that the county and the region have a duty to fulfill the needs of rural veterinarians, and whereas the Marshall County Fiscal Court desires to provide support for Murray State University to pursue local, state, and federal funding to fulfill the need of rural veterinarians and support Murray State University efforts to create and house a veterinary school at Murray State, and whereas the Marshall County Fiscal Court hereby partners with Murray State University in obtaining funds for the needed workforce, and whereas the Marshall County Fiscal Court wishes to enter into said resolution voicing our support for Murray State University. Now therefore be it resolved that the Marshall County Fiscal Court shall enter this resolution to support Murray State University efforts.
Okay. I'd just like to add this, we are in desperate need of large animal vets. If you have cattle or horses, you get it. A lot of vets out there, but they're pretty well just doing dogs and cats. So excited about their possibility.
That'd be an enormous
Yeah.
win for them, for sure, so.
Absolutely. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motions are second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Covington Road. Commissioner Barrett, would you like to discuss that?
Yeah, we got a,
I know you and Roy have been out there. Appreciate you all going out, looking at that and advising us.
yeah, we just got a citizen that requests that we let him bore underneath
Covington Road for an irrigation from one farm to another. And I just want to make a motion that we allow that. He's going to sleeve it. It'll have a casing, so if it ever has any leaks, he doesn't have to disturb the road. And he's going to hire a contractor, a bonded contractor, to do this. We're just allowing him to move forward with that. Have an easement on. We had to have an easement, let him, because it was on county property, we had to do this right to where he.
Yeah, we need to obviously give him permission to do that.
Yeah.
And, because there will be some disruption in traffic flow, but I don't think it's a very heavily traveled road.
No.
And there will be a cut across the road, so there
No,
have to be.
no.
Oh, there's not gonna be?
No, it's
Oh, okay.
boring. There won't be any disruption whatsoever.
Okay.
It's just crossing our property, the road,
under.
county, it's going,
Okay.
they're boring underneath it.
Are they gonna have to stop? Will
No.
they have to, there
No.
won't be any disruption
No.
after? Okay.
None whatsoever, just that, I guess we just have to give him permission to cross our property.
Yeah.
Go under our property.
That's way better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're going to sleeve it, and then they can put the pipe through, and if they ever have to change the pipe, it'll be good.
So you don't foresee any issues?
No, I don't see any issues, but am I correct that this has to be filled out
Yeah, just
and
have them,
approved before they can start any work?
yeah, just have them do the encroachment permit
Yeah,
like
he
we
was
usually
supposed
do.
to, they didn't show up this morning yet?
It's not filled out completely, no, as of right now.
Okay. Somebody's supposed to come over today and do that.
Keith Harris did show up this morning, right before court, and he filled out the location, and that's it.
Okay, well, it's subject to them filling that form out. They've got to definitely fill that form out.
So, you mentioned, so within that, it states something in there that if there is a leak, that they are responsible?
Yeah, that's why we have them put them a casing, so they can just, it's an oversized pipe, and then they can just pull the water line goes inside that. They can just dig up off of their property in that casing, just like a tunnel they can work through. They don't
But
have
I'm
to
just
descend.
saying, I know you don't foresee that something would happen there, but if it did, it's their responsibility.
It'd actually be on their property if it did happen, because the sleeving would touch their property on both sides.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of the casing. That way, if it does leak, it won't leak underneath our road. It'll leak out the ends.
Gotcha.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve, subject to them completing the necessary documentation from the road department?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Marshall County Sanitation, they are needing a pump for the lift station. They're rebuilding some of those they have. Price to rebuild those is considerably less, but they are needing an additional new pump for inventory. I think they're actually, when they get it, they're going to replace one and then take it and have it rebuilt. But anyway, the price on that with shipping would be $88.75. If you all are good with that, need a motion to purchase that from ARPA funds.
So moved.
Second. Motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Former sheriff's 2022 tax audit. You all should have that in front of you. Need a motion to accept?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Just for the record, it was Sheriff Weaver's, not my previous audit, or I wouldn't have voted.
Thank you. The county clerk's claim for preparing tax bills. Need a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Emergency management, as you probably remember, emergency management was given a new camper to use, and road department had went out and prepared a pad behind the 911 center to park that, and it's brand new. If we take care of it, it should last for many years, and I discussed with Kurt getting some shelter to put it under, and he went out and got some pricing on the carport similar to what's already there for the veterans' vans. It would have sides going all the way down to fully protect it, and, which is even better. The money is in the budget for that. I just need to get approval to install per our grounds policy, and it would be behind the 911 center, and there's a pad back there already where it's parked that the road department installed for us.
So move.
Second?
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Animal control policy. It's policies and procedures, primarily in that. Need a motion to approve.
Can I talk about that first? So I've just looked at that this morning, just to be quite honest with you, since I just got back. Does it address anything I noticed where, I don't know if you saw that in the paper, and I haven't talked to the mayor of Calvert, but I know they just had a complaint. Something happened in Calvert. He mentioned something about working with the county to figure out what they can and can't do. What does this do within the cities? We've always had this issue. Are we saying this policy is going to finally address all those concerns?
Well, it says that animal control will patrol the cities and do their jobs within the cities. But Calvert does not have a leash law, so.
I know, but neither does the county. So does it really matter?
Well, I mean, we're talking about leash laws in counties and cities. I mean, there's really no comparison to that. I mean, there's a good reason why there's not a leash law in the county.
Oh, no.
Now, there may be a good reason there's not a leash law in Calvert. I mean, they may not want one. They may not believe that they need one, but.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just saying, what's the difference in, if Calvert doesn't have it and Benton does, what's the difference?
You just enforce them differently.
Yeah, it's just a different enforcement. I mean, if a dog is running loose in Benton causing trouble, then the owner or the person who's keeping that dog can be charged with a leash law violation. But if it's running loose in Calvert,
Unless it's vicious or.
there's no leash,
I guess,
law in place to
Okay.
enforce.
So I see that piece of it, but I feel like what we've run into in the past, in the prior court anyway, what we were, the issue that we were having was because it's our animal control, not the cities. So the cities, we were having that issue of, well, why is it our responsibility going to the city and enforce something of theirs? Specifically Benton, obviously, because they have a leash law. Is it our responsibility?
Well, it's somebody's responsibility. I mean, Benton PD can enforce it, animal control can enforce it. So if there's a complaint, somebody needs to address it. This is saying that the animal control officers are expected to go into the cities if they're needed for an issue.
Yeah.
My understanding was, it may not have been in writing, but they were told not to go into cities.
Yes.
This whole document, I worked on off and on for probably 6 months, realizing there's going to be circumstances that come up in the future that will warrant changes to it, additions to it. But I think it's a good place to start. I think it's taken a lot of discretion out. These Category 1 calls are to be responded to 24/7, 365. That's what I felt like needed to happen from the calls I was getting to my office. There were some times where, dispatch wasn't sure who should be responsible and that type of thing. And I think this is going to help dispatch a lot as well, because it's very black and white as to what they respond to and when on most of this stuff. That was my main purpose for starting on this, to try to make things better for everyone, for them, for dispatch, for law enforcement. We don't need law enforcement out herding pigs or cattle when they have other things they need to be doing. They're always to assist as needed. They always have been. But I just wanted more clarity as to the scope of their work and when the calls are to be answered. So it's a starting point, I think. It's going to be a work in progress, I can assure you. But I do think it's a good starting point.
Yeah, because I think what the issue we've always had, and we'll still have, I'm sure, is what one person thinks is a danger versus what another. I mean, we all totally get, when it's vicious, but, animal running at large, and I know it says and creating a danger or nuisance is a pretty vague, what you think. So if my dog travels over to your yard, is that a danger or a nuisance?
But that's where they should go out and find out. That's the difference, is they would never go out.
That's the whole purpose of that document makes it very clear. You respond to this situation, and you can, once you get out there, then a determination can be made.
They may not be able to take action, but at least go out there and see.
Yeah.
Because they were handcuffed before when, the last term, they could not go, from my understanding, they wouldn't go to either city. And just keep in mind, even though they may have a leash law, this or that, but your city residents are still county residents, and they still pay for animal control. In my opinion, they should get the same response as a county resident.
We've had several attacks this year. People, I know, not that matters if I know them or not, but, there's been several attacks, and we want to make sure we're doing everything we can, on our end with animal control and law enforcement and everything to minimize those.
I do think this helps clean it up a lot, especially on a dispatch end. If there's a complaint, it's sent to animal control, and then it's their responsibility to investigate. It's not dispatch's responsibility to investigate whether they're danger or not. Kind of like it's not.
Oh, I totally agree with that. I think it's going to be interesting to see the number of calls and how those are addressed. Because again, what I think is a nuisance versus what, and I'm not talking about in the city. I'm saying in the county. I'm saying in the county, mostly, because again, in the county, they're probably not leashed like they are.
No.
And and if mine gets away from me as they're going to the bathroom or something and goes over to the neighbors, and then it's up to, they hold that, and it's up to the animal control officer
to investigate,
to investigate that.
But there's
one person's going to be upset.
There's no
Obviously.
criminal penalty for being a nuisance. That's just the way that it is out in the county. I mean, there's nothing out there to enforce a nuisance animal, unless it's livestock, cattle.
We deal with that quite often.
Cattle or livestock getting out of a fence, okay, that's one thing. But dogs and cats roaming out in the county, unless it's a vicious animal, vicious means has bitten or has at least gotten really dang close to biting a human being off of the owner's property. So that statute is very specific.
Yeah.
So if it's not that situation out in the county, there isn't a whole lot that can be done about it. But from law enforcement standpoint and my standpoint, I still want to know what happened. And the problem before was me finding out about it 2 weeks later from one side and not having any idea what the other side of the story was. So,
For us, like that nuisance, like if your dog goes over and smells property and they're digging in their flowers and causes some damage, you know, they're not necessarily being vicious, but they're being a nuisance.
I mean, the SO shouldn't have to answer those calls, investigate those calls. My office shouldn't have to deal with it. You know, that's what they're there for, and I think this document has put some clarity on their job duties, hopefully. And like I said, I realize this is going to be a moving target. It'll be probably added to. And also, I just want to add, Mr. Pagel worked many hours on going through the forms they use and looked at some from some other counties so we can maybe do a better job gathering information when they go out and do an investigation. So, been, you know, a lot gone into this.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's blaming animal control for not acting
absolutely
prior.
not.
They weren't allowed to. I think they would be, at least I assume they'd be willing to adhere to this policy and
they
moving
didn't,
forward.
they had no idea what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Good guideline to go
This is a
by.
good starting point. If we need to change it, tweak it later, we're good with that too.
Okay.
Have you had a motion to approve it yet?
No, sir.
I'll make that motion.
Motion. Is there a second? Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss litigation and personnel per KRS 61-810, 1C and 1L.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Call the meeting back to order. Next item, we have transfers.
Okay, I added a transfer after we talked about the sanitation pump. So there's a transfer from the American Rescue Plan Act projects to the sanitation. I'm going to create a line that's sanitation pump project. It's for the $8,874.64 that you guys voted for earlier in the meeting. So that is my appropriation transfer, and then after that, I'll have a bank transfer.
Motion for the appropriation transfer.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
For the bank transfer, I have one from the occupational tax to the general fund, the sheriff fund, which is within the general fund bank accounts for $50,000, and that is a budgeted OTA subsidy.
Motion to accept the bank transfer.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion to pay the bills?
Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. In regards to executive session, I will make the motion to uphold the termination of Andrew Vaughn.
Second.
Motion and second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.